Welcome to GradConnect. My name is Kush Rawal, and today I'm in conversation with Sania, who has also enrolled as a GradRight ambassador representing the King's College London. Saniha, please could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Saniha, and I'm originally from Bangalore, where I've lived my whole life. I did my bachelor's in commerce in this college called St. Joseph's College of Commerce. After which, I was working at an international bank. I was in the investment banking division when I sort of realized that I wanted to make a little bit of a switch in terms of direction. And After doing my research, I kind of decided that marketing was the field for me because I'd had a marketing module back in my undergrad and I really enjoyed it. And also looking up universities abroad and in India, I was looking at the course descriptions, and it was the marketing modules and courses that really spoke to me. So I decided that that's what I wanted to do. So then I quit my job. I did like an internship, and then I enrolled at King's. So I'm currently doing my master's in marketing course at King's College London, where I've been since September 2021. And coming to the last bit of it, I have a month left to work on my dissertation. So that's where I'm at right now.
That's amazing. So today we'll be talking about Saniha's journey to the King's College London and grab some insights about the university. Thank you, Saniha, for taking time out to help Indian students with the journey to masters abroad.
Sure, definitely.
So you already mentioned what that you had a certain module of marketing which like grabbed your interest and you wanted to and you knew that you wanted to do international marketing. So like you knew what you wanted to do. So now what process did you follow to shortlist the course and the university you wanted in terms of the field you have chosen?
So once I knew it was marketing, I sort of started looking at different places I could do that. And I wanted an international master's. I wanted to do it abroad. So then when I started looking at places, I first narrowed it down by place. And I was looking at Singapore and then London as well. Those were my two primary locations. But then I saw that I think London is just more of a metropolitan city, at least I think so. And so then when I narrowed it down to London, I started looking at the universities, the courses, and King's just seemed like a great fit because it is excellently rated. And the course structure also seemed right up my alley. It didn't seem as hectic as some of the other courses in other marketing courses in other places. So yeah, that was why King's.
So how many universities did you shortlist to apply for?
I think like wait, let me see, four. Yeah, four. London, of one in Singapore and like three in London. So
And King's was your priority, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So like you knew what you wanted to do and where you wanted to apply. So what all did you do like in the time period you had to build your resume strong in order to get an admission secured?
So I'll be honest, I wasn't like I got my job soon after undergrad. So it wasn't like I was actively doing anything in my undergrad to because I knew I didn't have plans of going abroad soon after. So I wasn't doing things in my undergrad with the intention of, oh, this is going to go onto my resume for a later master's degree. And so I didn't, it wasn't a conscious decision, but I think here are some of the things that I did just because I enjoy doing it that I feel made my resume stronger. So way back in school and college, I was always involved in a lot of extracurricular activities. I was in the student council in school. I used to take part in debate, in theater. Um, I was involved in the organization of fests because I was in the student body, and it's one of the duties that we have. And even in college, because I genuinely was interested in things like theater and debate and
Right.
writing. So I was in the editorial committee, drama club, took part in like roundtable like discussions and that kind of stuff. So I think all of these do add to your resume, gives a more holistic profile, shows that you're interested in not just academics. And I also had decent, I mean, pretty good grades. So that was like through my academic journey. Like in school and college, I'd say it was academics coupled with the extracurriculars. And then after that, of course, since I worked in it's a pretty big company, and so that adds value as well because I had work experience
Right.
about 20 months. when I quit my job, that's when I had like a proper goal, like I wanted to do a master's, and I knew I wanted to do it that year. So this was 2021, like January was when I decided let's do an internship, because the internship I'd done prior to that was in the same company I worked at, and it's a financial company. So I wanted to do something in marketing or in that direction. So then I did an internship. Then I also I've always been doing volunteer work through my undergrad because it was a part of our course curriculum, and so I also enjoy it. So I did a volunteership with an educational charity in India. So I did that for a couple of months, which was very enriching, and that was great. I also wrote my GMAT and I got a 720, which is a decent score. So that was again with the intention of my master's. And though it wasn't a requirement for my course, they didn't say that you need a GMAT. It was not, and most of my peers haven't done the GMAT, in fact. But I think it did add value because again, it shows that your quant and verbal skills are strong. So yeah.
Right. So, like out of your shortlisted universities, what factors did King's College London have over the others that you chose King's College London?
For one, the module structure was not extremely hectic. So there's 4 modules in the first semester, 4 in the second, out of which 3 are optional, and the options were great. There were a wide variety. There were, I think, over like 10 or more options to select from. And there were some that I was really interested in, like services marketing, which I then chose. But so the options for elective modules were very interesting. And there was the dissertation aspect of it, which was very interesting at the time, where you have to, like, I've never done a dissertation before, so it looked very interesting. So I think those were, and the fact that it's in London, it's in central London. They always have, I was looking at like their alumni pages and their extra, like the King's student union activities. Everything seems, the course is designed in such a way that it's not only academics, and you have time for doing other things, and King's offers those other things. There are options, there are clubs you can be a part of, and activities that you can do alongside your course, which is I think that was.
So what was the application process like to apply for King's College?
So it was pretty straightforward, actually. You just fill the application, there's a statement of purpose, um, and then you need to submit 2 references. And I think if you've graduated from your undergrad for, I think, more than 2 years, if it's been more than 2 years since you graduated, then you need to give 1 academic and 1 professional. But mine had been less than 2 years, so I just needed to give 2 academic references. And so there's references, there's statement of purpose, and then there's the basic, like your documents that you need, which is your transcripts from your undergrad, your, I think, high school, like graduation certificate, stuff like that. Your identification, like those documents are standard across the board. I think every university will ask that. So there's nothing especially unique that King's asked for. I think some universities asked for like a video and stuff. So King's was pretty straightforward, and after that, that's it. It's a 1-step application. So you do that, and then there's no second interview, at least for my course. I know this is different from different courses, but my course has just, you apply and you submit it, and then you get in or you don't.
Okay. And like, is there any process for getting scholarships?
There is a process. They have a few of them. None of the ones that I saw were very significant. They were like, say, like 20% or less of the course fee. But there are some scholarships. Yeah, I think they were like, out of everything, the ones that I was eligible for, which I think most Indian students would be eligible for, well, I think just like 2 or 3 of them, because one is for like minorities, like South Asians, and one of them is general for everyone and stuff, because they have categories for different. So yeah.
Okay. So diving into the university life, how diverse is your batch and what backgrounds do other students have?
Okay, so my course is pretty diverse. I'd say majority of them, I'd say about 70% of them are Asians. We have a very strong Indian and Chinese population. Then there's the remaining non-Asians are from I think, in fact, the British would be the minority, because then there are a lot of Europeans and then British from the course, a few Americans, but yeah, predominantly Chinese and Indian.
Okay.
And the backgrounds are, I think most of them do have a marketing background, political science, marketing, media. A lot of them have done their like BBM and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the background.
And how is the teaching methodology? Like, how different is it from India? And if you could highlight a little about the professors.
Sure. So the teaching methods and more than the teaching methods, the deliverables, like your reports, were very different from what I've been learning in India, in the sense that it requires a higher level of research and the kind of research that you would do. Like for example, in my undergrad, it was pretty. There was no real need for like citing your references, and we just get information from pretty much anywhere and put it up there on our reports or our
Right.
PPTs, and it's accepted. That's how it works. And but here you have to like cite where you got it from. It has to be a reliable source, which is obviously the right way to do it. Like I don't know why it wasn't the case in my undergrad. And looking back, that seems very wrong. I mean, why
Right.
didn't we do referencing and the quality of sources back then, which initially was a big change. It was a bit of an adjustment, some teething problems like, oh, what is referencing? What is Harvard style? What's APA? How do I do all of this? But I think you quickly, it's quite easy to pick up, and then that is one big change in the way you kind of do research for your assignments. Um, Teaching methods, because we were still coming off of COVID and stuff. The first module we'd have online lectures. So the lectures would be uploaded online to our like online. It's called Keats. It's basically the software. I mean, the website we use, portal we use to learn. So there we would have our lectures, like the longer lectures, broken up into smaller videos. So it wouldn't be like 1 2 hour video. It would be like you click on the subject on the week, and then you get the topic, and then there's like like this part, like in one module. I mean, sorry, 1 week's content, you'll have like broken down this part of it, and then a small 5 minute video about that, then some links for some reading, and then some slides, things like that. And that would have to be done before you go to the class, and then the class would be just 1 hour tutorial, and it wouldn't be the entire 150 plus batch. It would be about 20 people in a group, and they'd be broken down. So yeah, it like we had to do some reading before and then go to class. We have a 1 hour tutorial where you can ask questions and they do some activities. That was the first semester, which was a bit it was a bit unnerving because you have to do a lot of reading before going to every class, and
It was
I
like preparing
had
for every class before every.
preparing for every class, and I feel like 1 hour wasn't enough. You just get there, and then I just don't think it was sufficient time to like go over everything. And the second semester though, it changed, and then it was 3 hour classes. So that's it, just a 3 hour class. We'd still have stuff online, some additional reading, required reading, things like that. But it was a 3 hour class, which I really enjoyed, because you feel like you get the most out of your professors, and you have the time to ask questions, and all the topics are taught to you face to face, which was very interesting. So, and also the first semester, the modules are compulsory. So as I've always had this experience with compulsory modules, there are some you just don't like. And it's just, it was the same case with my first semester. Second semester, 1 is compulsory and 3 you choose. And I was very happy with the choices that I made. So I really enjoyed that. And I feel knowing that you have selected a subject yourself, you kind of put more into it because it's like, I chose this for myself. So I really enjoyed the second semester more than the first. And now it's the dissertation, which is again something I've never done before. Never had to write like a 10 12,000 word assignment, and it's kind of unnerving, but yeah, just getting through it. Yeah.
So, how intense is the course, and are you able to manage a part-time job as well?
The course, I wouldn't say is extremely intense. One can definitely do a part-time job. I did not, however. I
Hmm.
did not do a part-time job, but I know people who have, and they've been okay with it. It's just initially I didn't know if I would have the time. I had no idea going into it. So I didn't want to, kind of not give my 100% to the course by giving my time somewhere else. But I know people who have done it, honestly. None of my close friends have, but I know many people who had part-time. They were part-time baristas, waitresses, things like that. And it's our visa only allows us to work 20 hours a week. So there's that cap. You cannot do more than that, which and it's spread out over 2 3 days. So 2 3 days you cannot do intense long work hours, and then you're done. So
Okay. So it's manageable to manage your
I think it is
pastime.
manageable. That depends. Yeah, I think it could be done. Yeah, it has been done.
So can you throw some light on the recruitment journey? Which companies or field do students generally get into, and what are like the average salary expectations? Like if you can tell about that.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, like, the concept of like campus recruitment isn't really a thing in the UK, at least in my university. Like, the colleges don't really come to King's and do like drives, but King's does have a very useful department called King's Careers, and they basically help you with your resume building, your CV, cover letter writing, and just a bunch of workshops. They have like prep interviews you can do. You have sessions with various counselors, so they give you a lot of support in that sense, and they also help you narrow down the companies and the in like based on your interests and your skills. So that's very useful, and they have these like like drives basically where companies do come, but they just advertise their openings basically. So there
Right.
was a career fair, sorry, that's the word, career fair that happened a few times. The last one I attended was online, and basically a bunch of companies are listed. You can click on them. There's a virtual chat, there's a video chat. They're just showing you what the company does, what opportunities they have open, things like that. It's pretty yeah, it's convenient, but I think there's not much difference in that versus just going on LinkedIn and looking for jobs. So I wouldn't say those have been particularly useful, the career fairs.
Mhm.
But they have a lot of workshops. Like, they used to have workshops for like alumni coming and speaking about their journey, and one workshop on just how to shortlist your colleges, and like these 1 day events were 2 hours. They talk about one specific thing. So that's been really great. But in terms of companies, I'd say like the UK has so many companies, so many jobs. So like, yeah, depending on which field you are, which there, especially in marketing, you have the option of going to different types of companies. So you have obviously media companies, but also like pharmaceutical companies hire for marketing jobs,
Mhm.
finance hire for marketing jobs, educational companies. So it's very, the range of the companies and industries you could work for is varied. But that being said, the starting salary isn't very high as well. I'd say it's like 25 to 35K is the range that you could expect as a fresher. um but and then there's also like graduate schemes, which though they still don't offer that much, there's the advantage of you're locked in for 2 years and you get to experience a wide variety of different departments. So basically they rotate you
Vocational
every
programs.
6 months. Yeah, like, and it's called a graduate scheme, which is very coveted here. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good option for someone to get into a graduate scheme for a company, because you get to learn different departments. You're not tied in, and they train you very, very well.
Right.
So yeah.
And how is the study life balance for you? If you could
Uh,
get around that.
Personally, honestly, I think I'm good at like managing my time. I think I'm decent at it. So I think it's all about just making a schedule and prioritizing what's really important to you. Um, be that, sleeping a lot. I mean, apart from my studies, of course, like what other thing is important to you? If it's like sleeping a lot, then you just have to like be very clear about what is important. For me, it's like I really enjoy working out and exercise. Um, so but I didn't join the gym because I was like, I could do it. I did home workouts for the entirety of COVID. So if that's my priority, then I would make time for that. So I would wake up super early, do it at that time. And I've been consistent with that. For someone else, it could be reading, like just reading a book. So then you carve out that time and you don't do anything else. If it's catching up on your sleep, then you make sure you work really hard during the day. So I think it's all about just, it's very personal. Like, you have to, there is the time available. You just have to
Just
be
have to
smart
manage.
about planning it. You have to be smart about planning it. Uh, Again, depends on your course. I mean, if it's super hectic, then yeah, maybe you just don't have the time. In Kings, in my course, you do have the time. I'd say that it's very manageable to do a part-time job, or to whatever other hobbies you have. You can have a very good like social life as well. I stay in a student accommodation, so everyone around me is a student. They always have activities going on. They have like it's organized by the warden and stuff, so they have these random events. So that way, you get to meet people, meet students, and it's easier for me, I'd say, to make friends or have a social life. So it depends on all those factors. I think how you manage your time, the kind of where you live, kind of people you surround yourself with, and yeah, I think it's pretty easy to balance it out. But I don't want to sound like, oh, it's so easy. If you're struggling, then that's on you. No, not at all. Like, everyone's experience is different.
Right,
I know
right.
people who really weren't able to manage, and it's too much for them. So it's very personal, I think.
So, what are like the average living expenses for you for a month?
Okay, so the rent that you could expect per week would be from, I think, 200 to, it could go up to 400 depending if you have a studio, 400 pounds a week, that is. But that's for like the higher end. Like if you have a studio or if you get a flat or something, it could be 300, 400, depends on the area as well. And food, again, I'm not the best like budgeter, so I don't have like, oh, per week I'm spending this much on food, so I'm kind of eyeballing it here. So I think on food, I am the worst person to ask about food because I buy anything. I buy all snacks. I buy all kinds of rubbish. But I would estimate about 100 pounds a week.
Okay.
50 pounds a week. Yeah, 50 pounds a week should be okay, I think, for food. Again, depends on what you eat, right? If you're eating a lot of like meat, and if you're hell bent on eating Indian food, then you will have to pay extra to buy those ingredients and things like that. But if you're okay with just buying what the local produce and just cooking with that, then it shouldn't be. I think 50 pounds a week is pretty okay to work with for groceries. And then if you're going out, that's a huge variable. Like
Right.
depending on how much you're going out, that could be like you could spend what, like 100 pounds a month if you don't go out at all. That's the baseline I'm saying. And then you could spend like thousands of pounds a month. It really depends on the kind of circle you're in, the kind of places you go to, the experiences you want to have. I don't like go out that much in terms of yeah, like I don't have that much expenses to go out. I just prefer to stay in my room and spend a lot of food on like snacks and buying clothes and things like that. So yeah, I think the biggest expense you'd have here would be rent. That, like, per week, that's the majority of what you're spending on. And transport, if you get transport is also quite expensive. If you go from like zone 2 to zone 1 in London, zone 1 is obviously central, where my college is as well. It could be £3 something one way. But if you get a pass, which I had for the first few months, which was extremely useful, the pass is about again, the pass is depending on where you buy it from. Mine was zone 2 to zone 1 pass, which is I think £110 a month, and you can do as much travel as you want with that card. So it's with £110 a month, you can travel like 10 times a day. It's the same amount. You don't pay anything extra. Buses are free with that, so that could be very useful if you're a student who goes to university very often. If you go north of 3 times a week, and in general, you're traveling a lot. And in the beginning, everyone would be traveling a lot. In London, a city like that, you're probably going out every second day to like look at things and spend time with friends. Then I think the bus pass is very useful. So yeah, I'd say travel is manageable as well. Rent is the biggest expense, and depending on how much you go out, you could spend. London is a city that's made for people with like who like to spend money. There's so much to do, so many things for you to spend your money on. So if you have the money, you'll have a great time here.
Thank you for the insights. So, coming towards the next question, please can you tell me a few things you love about King's College and a few things you don't like?
Okay, things I love. The campus. It's really beautiful. They have 4 different campuses, and I'm at the Bush House campus, Bush House slash Strand. They're in the same area, so that's where all my classes were, and it's really stunning. Bush House is one of the oldest buildings, I think, oldest buildings, or one of the most beautiful looking buildings, at least in central London, and it's just stunning. It's so beautiful. It's very, from outside it looks very like huge and like old and stuff, but as you go inside, it's been completely very modernized, and just great architecture. Even the other campuses, like the guys campus is older, so not that modernized, but just beautiful. They have like just amazing. That's number one. Number two, I think, is the help you get, like online support and stuff is pretty. There's a lot of, if you want to do like additional courses, you have a lot of those available. You have a lot of different clubs you can join.
Mhm.
You have yeah, like there's Indian society. There's a society for pretty much everything. There's an archery society. There's like a probably like miniature. I mean, I'm just saying there's a society for everything. So that's quite nice. And yeah, I think that's 2 things I really like about it. And the people are very nice. That in general, I think people in London, there is a misconception that they're quite snobby and stuff. I don't think that's true. I think they're very nice. The professors are very helpful. So that's been nice. Things I don't like. Let's see. Things I don't like. I didn't enjoy the first semester structure very well. I wish it was more offline teaching. So that's one thing. I wish we'd gotten more help during our dissertation, which is this semester. Just I don't know. I just wish there were more. There was quite a bit of help, but I don't think it was enough. At least for international students like myself, and the majority of their students are not from Britain. They probably needed more help with just coming to terms with what a dissertation is, how to approach it. Like I just wish it was a little more. Yeah, those are the 2 things. Yeah.
So, if you could go back in time, do you feel you could have done a few things differently, or do you feel this is the right path for you?
Um, I feel like, yeah, I think this is I really believe like that we are where we are supposed to be in
Right.
life. So very, like, I don't know, pretentious or something. I'm not preaching, but I mean that helps me get through life. But I would have gotten a part-time job. Like now that I know that it was manageable and I had the
Right.
time, I definitely had the time. Maybe I'd have got a part-time job. So yeah, that's one regret I have. And yeah, I wish I'd like before coming to the UK, I wish I knew more about how to prepare academically. So like the whole referencing thing and like that kind of stuff. I wish I had really done my research about a little before, so that coming into it the first month I wouldn't have been like what's happening. So yeah.
So, any last advice you want to give to the students who want to pursue masters at King's College?
Um, Honestly, just don't stress too much about it. Like apply. King's a very nice place. Don't get too scared. I know people were very like scared before going, like leaving their homes and coming abroad. Because King's is a big university plus like London, it's overwhelming. Even if you're not, even if you're from like not from India, if other countries, but not a city as big as London, London in itself is overwhelming. Don't be. Um, London has this beautiful air of like indifference towards people, which is nice. So no one cares too much. You can do what you want. And also they're very nice. People will help you out. So don't stress too much about it and enjoy the last few months before coming, because things will get hectic very soon and you'll miss your family, you'll miss your friends, you'll miss your city. So, and have a couple of months of doing nothing, just chill. And yeah, it's going to be great.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful advice. And I know a lot of Indians will benefit from the insights you have shared today. It was a wonderful experience talking to you, and I wish you all the best for your journey ahead.
Thank you, Kush. It was great talking to you. Thank you so much.